Father, 68M, cheating with 23-year-old foreign mistress. My 68-year-old father has gone crazy. He has a 23-year-old girlfriend, mistress in Cuba, and she is absolutely using him, of course, for his money. We live in the US. All she does is ask for money. He sends her about $400 a month and recharges for phone twice a month, $50. I understand living in a third country like Cuba is hard. Basic necessities are hard to get, and that's where she knows how to manipulate him and tell him she needs this and that. She knows he is married, but of course that's not her concern as long he provides her money and sends her things. In Cuba the average salary is like $20 a month. She has found her lottery ticket. They started talking about 6 months ago, and she tells him she can't wait until they meet, of course, because he's her ATM. My dad is not wealthy at all. He recently retired. He worked a modest, humble job, a bus driver, before he retired. He is now looking to go back to working full-time again because, of course, so he can provide more for her. He tells us he is bored of being home now that he's retired, and that's the reason he wants to work again, which of course is full BS. He is such a manipulative liar that he tells this girl he has a business that he has had for more than 20 years. Lol. He has never had any type of business. He tells her this to impress her and boost his ego. She swears he's rich just because he lives in the US. He is a married man, lives with his wife, my mom, and us, his 2 children. My parents have been married for 30 years. He is Cuban American and I am so disgusted in him. This girl is just looking for her meal ticket out of Cuba. He has plans to go meet her later year and of course to go sleep with her. This girl is not going to let go of him. She found her ATM machine. They have their emotional affair going on, but pretty soon my dad is planning on visiting and meeting her. She probably does this with other men, and I bet this is not her first time doing this. She sexts him and they do video calls. Mind you, my father isn't very tech savvy at all. He didn't even know how to send a text or pictures about a year ago. Now all of a sudden is always on his phone. I'm kinda worried how this will turn out and affect our family. I've confronted my dad, but he just shrugs it off like it's nothing. I've always been very close with my dad, but after all this my relationship with him has been very rocky. Me being the older daughter, first-gen American one, felt I've always had the responsibility to help him with managing his finances throughout my life growing up, and now I feel he's so ungrateful for everything I've done to help him. I'm the older daughter, in my 20s, and just can't look at him the same anymore. It hurts a lot what he's doing, and I've told him and he just shrugs it off and tells me it's his life and he can do anything he wants. He clearly shows signs of a typical narcissist and manipulative behavior of a cheater. I can't imagine my father throwing everything down the drain we have built as a family for a 23-year-old girl. Someone that can be his granddaughter, it's just so hard to understand. Imagine when he goes to Cuba and if he gets this girl pregnant. I really hope it doesn't come to this, but if my parents divorce, can my mom present evidence of all this and have the upper hand? They own their primary residence and a rental property together, and my mom absolutely does not want to give up her home of more than 30 years. She will go down and fight for everything. Our world has been turned upside down. Edit. My mom's only concern is she keeps the properties, at the least our primary home. He has told me directly my mom can keep both properties. But can he just walk away and let me or keep everything? Of course, if it comes down to a divorce, does she have to buy him out and refinance? Or can he just forfeit that and let my mom keep the home without her having to buy him out? I've even thought of buying the property from them with a gift of equity, but IDK if that will work. Fear of missing out on parenthood after infidelity. Rant. 31-year-old male. A few months ago, completely out of the blue, my fiancée told me she was having an affair with her coworker. Said she accidentally fell in love with him and left me for him. They lasted for a few weeks. She has a new boyfriend now. I'm obviously shattered. It's going to take me a good while to recover from this. Could see myself not being able to start dating for at least a year or 2. Backstory on me. I have pretty bad anxiety. I also deal with a bad case of ED, probably from the anxiety. This was a big reason I never really had girlfriends growing up. My fiancée was my first everything. We were together for 5 years. When I got very comfortable with her, took a long time, I eventually overcame my ED and we had a very healthy sex life. What I'm getting at is, having legit serious relationships with women doesn't exactly come easy for me. I thought my fiancée was a once-in-a-lifetime type deal, and I was really thankful and felt blessed for our relationship. I definitely saw it as my first and last relationship. The possibility of splitting up never even crossed my mind. She obviously wasn't on the same page. I've always wanted to be a dad and have a family of my own. Always. I thought that I was about to have that. With me being 31, heartbroken, and terrible at getting intimate with women, I feel like my chances of being a dad are now becoming extremely slim. And say I do heal and get lucky again and meet someone at, I don't know, 35? I'd probably be pushing 40 by the time I had my first kid. This means I'd be a senior citizen by the time my kid is 25. Would that even be fair for the child? If I get lucky enough to live a healthy life, I'd still be knocking on death's door by the time my child is my age right now. I know this post doesn't make sense. I just had my life completely flipped upside down, and it sucks to get so close to fulfilling your dreams and then have them taken from you without warning. Feel like I am going backwards. Hi everybody. TLDR is my ex-husband badgered me into an open relationship. Later it was revealed he'd been cheating on me for the duration of our 7-year relationship anyway. After he moved out, and after delaying it for as long as I could, it became clear that it would not be financially tenable for me to keep the house. We had to sell it. The loss of the house is an enormous source of grief for me and at times feels like the ultimate betrayal. My ex knew how much I valued having a home and knew how hard I worked to be able to purchase it. I grew up in a very unstable environment and owning a home was always my biggest dream. It represented everything I was working towards as someone who grew up in poverty. It signified stability, peace, and adulthood. I live in a very high crime city and I finally safe at my home because it was outside the city. No more crackheads in my backyard or stealing things off my porch. I love gardening and the outdoors, and we had 2 acres of space. It was a perfect, brand new home. Now I'm living in a tiny, dingy, old apartment back in the city, with a creepy neighbor and crackheads around every corner. I feel like I have lost every ounce of agency, adulthood, and security. I feel like a kid again, in an awful, powerless way. Next year I turn 30, and I will have successfully achieved and unachieved every goal I set for my adult life. It seems like every milestone I made in my 20s, from getting married, getting a master's degree, and getting a house has completely been for nothing. I'm in credit card debt from having to pay rent plus mortgage for the months that my house was on the market. I got a new job and had to move back into the city. Previously I was WFH at our rural property. I have no savings. I am alone. I don't even work in the field I went to school for and my master's degree is irrelevant now. Meanwhile, my ex has started a new family with one of his girlfriends complete with baby. His multi-property owning dad gave him a house because he's happy he finally has a grandchild. He pays nothing but utilities and works 2 to 3 days a week. He is set to inherit his dad's money and properties. Dad is 85. He seems to be having a great time, going on trips and dates with his new family when he would barely get off the couch for me. I hate feeling like a victim, but I just can't seem to pick myself up and feel positive in any way. If working so hard so far turned out this way, I don't really see the point in putting effort into the rest of my life. I doubt I will ever want to be in a relationship ever again. I doubt I'll ever be able to buy a house again. It's been enough time now that I feel my life should be on the upswing. Instead, I'm stuck at the bottom. I can't stand seeing him end up with everything he wanted while I am completely miserable. This has destroyed me.